What was your oh shit I might not be straight moment? When I said to my friend this dude is cool, I wouldn't ask him out, but if he asked me I wouldn't refuse. Turns out I'm gay and shy. Met a girl via Twitter through a tag, started talking, then moved to video calls. Every time a notification came up on my phone from her, I got that warm-faced, fuzzy chest feeling. We're just good friends, I said to myself, like a liar. She's just really sweet and I like talking to her. 4 months of this and one day she mentions Philip. I ask her who that is, as I'd never heard the name from her before. Oh, that's my boyfriend. Oh. Okay. Recent boyfriend. No, we've been together 7 years. Around minute 5 of crying is when I realized. Crying about that and feeling like I'd gotten my heart broken wasn't normal. The day when I was 16 and had just realized that the only porn that I had been watching up to that point for the last 5 years was the gay kind. One time in high school, I knew a girl who was really attached to me. I had low self-esteem and she would always be happy with me and she would say things like you look cute today and that skirt matches your eyes. I never thought she liked me because I would just think, nobody can like me, or I would just think I was lucky to have someone so nice. It was by Valentine's Day she made me chocolate in a little pink lock and lock as she confessed her love to me. I almost fainted as I coughed in shock. Wrong reaction. She was confused but we talked it out. That year we went to prom together, she was my first best kiss that grade, and we were one of the most famous lesbian couples in our school. We later broke up because she was going to her dream college in California and we both agreed a long-term relationship wouldn't be good. Ever since, I knew I was gay AF. Being 14 and realizing I preferred lesbian erotic novels over anything else. When I was 13-14, I was at a sleepover. We discussed our boys we fancied list, then our girl crush list. They named celebrities, I named like Holly from drama class, one of our female teachers, a girl in the year above. And was yeah she's pretty and she's so cute when she. I was then informed a girl crush is when you want to be this person, or be like them. Not be on them or kissing them and holding their hand while you walk round a Christmas market. And that's how I found out that being attracted to girls wasn't a straight person thing. Very first clue that I was bi was rewatching Harry Potter when I was 11 and wanting to make out with Hermione super bad. Then when I was 13, me and my friends were all at a sleepover and, since we were horny teens, we played spin the bottle. I got my best friend and it was like the best thing ever. When my best friend came out as a lesbian and my brain went automatically yes we have a chance with her, wait so turns out I'm bi. Edit, by we I mean me, a dumbass, and whatever runs my emotions. Second edit, for clarification, no, we never got together. Turns out she was experimenting more than anything else and told me she didn't like women before I could even get the courage to tell her. We stopped being friends shortly after, for different reasons, and I have no way to contact her anymore. She never knew and probably never will. Lucy, if you're out there, I don't think about you anymore, except for this moment of my life that, in the end, is more about me than about you, but I once fancied the way you would smile at me a bit too much. My therapist was doing a series of quick questions and asked you like boys, and I was like yeah and you like girls, and I said, no. I don't know, and he well, straight people normally answer that one yai differently. Then it hit me, at 23, that I'm not straight, might be bi, and all the watching/reading lesbian porn, finding that actress pretty, fantasizing about a girl 2 years my senior, noticing great boobs/ass wasn't me being so okay with being straight that I was okay with having experiences with women I actually kinda like them, so yeah, I was that oblivious. I wrestled my best friend in middle school and realized in the middle of it that I prefer it when he's on top of me. Edit. Woo, this blew up. Let's hope he's not a redditor, deg, and yes, we hooked up later you middle-aged suburban women you. Novel is out soon. Going down on my high school best friend in the science room storage closet. When I was little and whenever I read books about a straight couple in love, and the woman was this fiery goddess, I never wanted to be the gorgeous woman in the book. I was curious about how it felt to fall for one. I loved the idea of it. Then, I started to develop intense crushes on girls. In high school PE I tried out for football. The coach was showing us how to tackle. 6 there I was, getting full-on body slammed by a 300-pound tank with a beard and arms bigger than tree trunks. I did not complain. Turns out I don't like football. I just like rough sex with bearish men. Also, erections while wearing a cup are very uncomfortable. Sitting there googling "Am I a lesbian?" quizzes LOL. Well, the first sign probably should have been lil 4th grade me, after learning of the existence of gay people, laying there at night thinking, "Aw man, gay girls are so lucky. Wish I could date a girl. Oh well, guess I'll marry a man." Or the countless times groups of girls would be obsessing over how cute some dude was and I'd be standing there like. Or maybe the fantasies I had in 6th grade about me dating a girl I was friends with. But for some reason I didn't even begin to consider the possibility of not being straight until I got the most intense crush of my life, the kind that physically hurts because you want the other person so badly, on a friend of mine who was a girl. Hence the googling LOL. Took me another 2 or 3 years to really accept it. Even now I have a girlfriend and occasionally doubt myself, but I know that's just my dumb ass brain overthinking everything. I wrote a very long diary entry in late middle school about how beautiful my best friend looked as she slept at a sleepover. I wrote in detail about her fluttering eyelashes, her smooth skin, her parted lips, her deep breathing, etc. I closed it out by saying that I'm not homosexual and I never would be, I just thought my best friend was a beautiful soul. We started dating a couple months later. Basically, I got a text from a guy I met at school. Literally never talked to him outside of that one class. The text said, "Hey, you're pretty hot. Wanna fuck?" Now, I assumed that my reaction would be no, I'm straight, but I sat there and thought about it. Long story short, I thought he was pretty hot too. We chatted for a few days, sent some pictures, then we fucked. Megara from Hercules, and Hercules. Chell from Road to El Dorado. Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Lola Bunny in Space Jam. And quite recently reignited my passion for men too, Zagreus from Hades. I just love when women. Was year 10 UK, maybe 15. On a school trip to the US, shared a 2 double bedroom with 3 upper 6th, 17 to 18, guys. This would be back in 2007-ish, when skinny indie kids with greasy hair were the thing. One of them was this guy, who was 18 and I thought he was so mature and grown up. He wore a proper thick woolen trench coat and told stories about girls giving blowjobs under it, which to a 15-year-old felt like I was talking to some sort of wizard. He had very pale gray blue eyes, but with dark skin and messy curly dark hair, so they really stood out. Anywho, they decided that being squeamish around other boys was kinda uncool, so this guy decided after his shower to walk across the room stark bollock naked to get dressed. And he was really thin, but muscular with it, and that was the first time I'd really looked at a cock before, because he stood there tolling off with a bit of a smirk, as if he was trying to make me uncomfortable. I was not uncomfortable. When I saw a woman dressed in a business suit, but with a skirt. She had on heels and tights with a black line going up the back of her legs. That sight with the click of her heels, I didn't just like boys. I was over my friend's house and he took a shower and came back to his room naked and started playing Fortnite naked. I was way too interested in looking at him that I knew I wasn't straight. Realizing that a male friend was objectively more attractive than my girlfriend. Took me another 20 years to admit to myself that I was bi, though. Girls be looking way cuter and I developed some feels. but the solidifying moment was during a girl's sleepover where we played Truth or Dare and I had to kiss this girl. Oh boy, I did not want that moment to end. I was reading a blog and it said bisexuality was imagining yourself married to either gender and being happy with it. It's probably not an accurate statement, but I figured yeah, I'd be totally fine with either. Later on I thought about the sex part, was completely repulsed and learned the term asexual. Henry Cavill. College. I had a GF through high school, so assumed I was bi because I had a GF, even though I looked at the boys way more than any girl. Okay, well, here's also the story I will never tell my parents. So back in 8th grade I was bullied by a bunch of girls because they thought I was a lesbian and they had decided to try and blackmail me. So one day I was alone in the hall since I had to stay back in my last class due to spilling something, and now I was late going to my next class. I swear they must have somehow planned me spilling something because one of the girls was walking the opposite direction of me, but then quickly stopped me with their arm and did that ping someone against the wall with your arm thing. She was taller than me, so she was looking down at me and I was a bit scared and confused since I thought I was going to get beat up, but instead she started to flirt with me. Not like the compliment flirting, I mean like full on I wanna bang you flirting. Keep in mind we were both underage, even for the state we're in, which was 16 for consent. I was blushing like crazy before she kissed me and left. I don't know how they were gonna blackmail me because a week passed before it clicked with me that I liked that a bit too much even if it was faked. Then I told a friend that I thought I could trust, and before I knew it the whole school knew I was a lesbian and I got heavily bullied for it, so the homophobes made my life worse. Thanks for making me scared to come out to my parents. Middle school. I don't think I'm gay since in relationship dynamics I much more prefer the company of women. However, since the first time I went to the Louvre at 13, I was really fascinated with all those statues and paintings of naked men. So yeah, I'd say a beautiful body is a beautiful body, no matter the sex. More NSFW than other examples. I'm heteroromantic, easily, but I found out I'm bi-curious when I found myself fapping to the idea of getting topped out of nowhere, and rather than be disgusted, it just kind of felt arousing. The Mummy Returns, Evie and Mila battle it out in those gold outfits. I've been watching lesbian porn since I discovered what porn was. Dudes in porn made me uncomfortable. It was at age 17 I realized that I'm probably not as straight as I thought, that plus having a crush on a girl for the first time. It all started when I was little and saw Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time. Tim Curry started singing Sweet Transvestite, threw off that cloak, and it awoke something deep in me. He looked dead ass sexy in that lingerie. Then as a teenager I went to a party where I played Truth or Dare. I was dared to kiss a boy, and I enjoyed that. Then I was dared to kiss a girl, and I liked that too. And suddenly things started to fall into place. Turns out, I'm pan and pay no attention to gender when it comes to who I'm attracted to. Making out with girls in 5th grade and liking it. Me telling my wife, I'm totally straight, but Neil Patrick Harris is hot. I'm totally straight, but Brendan Urie is hot. I'm totally straight, but Dan Levy is hot. Fuck. I might not be totally straight. Australian accent. I honestly still say straight, but deep down I know if the right Aussie hit on me I'd be saying bye as soon as I crawled out of their bed and caught my breath. I was fascinated by a girl at school, aged 17. She was so cool and confident, didn't care what people thought. Started thinking about her a little too much. Didn't think anything of it really. It was only when she invaded my thoughts when I was with my boyfriend that I realized. 2 years later I came out as a lesbian and haven't looked back. Jade from Victorious. She made little 11-year-old me feel a certain type of way. I blame Jade for the fact that I'm now a lesbian. Heather Graham in that Austin Powers movie, and again in Boogie Nights. I had to do some serious soul searching. Probably David Bowie existing. When I searched for porn and found a website that made me click which option I wanted to see. I clicked gay. Had a huge crush on Gillian Anderson and when she did that famous FHM front cover. I wished I was gay so I could openly drool over her. Long story short, that's how I discovered that bisexual was a thing. Had a fantasy and may or may not have enjoyed it. I was never into sports, and I spent my weekends going to the mall with girls. My dad was very concerned and asked if I was gay. I literally had to think about it and imagined myself sucking a dick. It did nothing for me, so I decided I was not gay. Seeing Jennifer Lawrence spin in that red dress in Hunger Games. It was just a oh fuck, oh god, oh shit moment. TFW, you learn your bi through young adult enjoyments. I checked a girl out. Was at a party, sober as a nun, and this girl walks by and I'm like damn. Figured out two things about myself that day. First was that sexuality is a moving target, and though I still consider myself mostly straight, I wouldn't kick a pretty girl out of my bed. The second is that, apparently, I'm into gingers. I was sitting next to this girl Elizabeth in my 5th grade class. We had to share a science book, and we made a game of hiding the science book in each other's desks and saying you have the science book. And playing that game with her gave me butterflies. When she signed my yearbook that I was fun to sit by, I about died. When I realized I enjoy watching women more in porn, and that I find female anatomy more beautiful and arousing than men. But then again, I love dicks. And feel mentally more connected to men. So, long story short, I just realized I'm a bisexual. A year ago I was at a scout camp, and there was a guy there with this absolutely amazing hair and I was like, that's really cool. I've felt similar tendencies since then, and a couple of friends coming out to me has given me some new confidence and I may start telling people soon. Edit. After posting this I realized this might be somewhat unclear, so to clarify, I tend to really enjoy playing with / looking at people's hair. I'd call myself bisexual but leaning straight, though. Looking back many things haha, but if I had to pick the earliest memory I'd say 1st grade taekwondo. New kid comes to class and I remember thinking that's a cute boy. Huh. Came out after college, I'm still attracted to and hook up with women here and there but am otherwise as gay as can be. I went to a Sweet 16 party. I walked in and, this has never happened before or after, I saw this guy and my brain went whoa. WTF just happened. I stopped breathing when I saw him, but it was like my lungs freaked out and didn't know what to do. And I got blushy or some shit. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I just thought he was very attractive. I tried to fight the feeling I was having, but for some reason my brain really liked him. I ended up going to school with him and the feeling went away. But that was one of the weirdest moments. As a guy, every time I see Chris Hemsworth or Henry Cavill, I think it was that time when I started experiencing lower back pain. Spending too long focused on the pages of women's underwear in my mum's Avon catalogs when I was a kid. 18 or so years later and I still don't damn know. Rihanna. Well, I hate to say it, but I saw this picture of Harry Styles a while back and it occurred to me, I think I would let that man destroy me. I didn't have one. It was only after I typed "Am I the only one who doesn't want sex?" into Google, after years of trying to be straight, and one of the answers was maybe you're not straight. Ever heard of asexuality, that I got it? I didn't know it was an option before then, otherwise it would have clicked years before. I kept gravitating towards a certain someone in college and it sounds kinda creepy, but she smelled so good that I loved whenever she would be close enough for me to register her scent. At one point, I realized it might just be outright attraction to her since she was so outgoing and pretty too. When reading the comments on this post, me and my best mate decided we should work out if we were gay or not by sucking each other off. He had massive rod on and asked me to go first, and I couldn't do it. He went down on me like a dog eating hot chips. He's gay. I'm only willing to get sucked off. I realized I was asexual when my husband and his friends were talking about which Hollywood star they were attracted to, and I couldn't think of anyone. I asked my friends and some of them had lists. I'm like, how can you want to have sex with someone you don't know, and found out no, really lots of people have instant attraction or lust. I wasn't sexually attracted to my husband until I known him weeks. He informed me he was attracted to me as soon as he saw me, and even changed his class schedule so we'd have more classes together. I'm a little slow because it took me way too long to realize that a crush isn't the same as sexual attraction. I thought I was just prude or something, but then female friends talked about actual physical reactions to wanting sex with someone, and I was like, that's a thing. LOL, I was already an adult and had no idea. I thought it was like having a crush on someone. So yeah, I'm definitely asexual. Brad Pitt tearing through Hollywood at night in a sky blue Carmen Gia. Don't know if it counts as gay, but that was sexy as fuck. When I was in the 5th grade, my older sister came out as a lesbian. That meant I was a lesbian too, in my 5th grade head. A boy asked me to be his girlfriend not long after, and that's when I knew I was straight. When I sucked a dude's dick, probably. But then it turns out I'm just a sexual deviant that will fuck any human between the ages of 18 and 50-ish as long as I'm attracted to them. Tom Hardy in Bronson. When I out of nowhere started to like my female friend. Seeing Gal Gadot. The fact that I look at women and think they're hot / sexy / cute / beautiful. LOL. Watching Lucy Liu in Ally McBeal in the 4th grade. Making out with my 3 best friends every weekend in middle school to practice for kissing boys, but doing it every single weekend. Just needed more practice, I guess, ha ha ha. Many years later, 3 of the 4 of us are either lesbian or bisexual. When I started imaging myself making out with other girls and enjoying it. The moment I, male, got the hots for one cute dude that I've known for years just as much as I have for the girls. He said that we'd have dated if only I confessed. But well, I'm all happy with my current GF, but with an extra icing of mutually fuming for cute guys since my girl is big on the good old gay anime stuff. For me it was when I walked into a lamppost, looking at a beautiful woman walking past, whilst I was with my ex now, fiancé, male, LOL. When playing Breath of the Wild I found myself incredibly aroused by Link when he wears certain outfits. When I was 14, I figured it was completely hetero to miss my best friend so much I daydreamed about hanging out with her, but it's probably not hetero to add kissing to that daydream. Oops. My very Christian friend described me as someone where God added all the fruit but forget to flip the switch. I was also typecast during my theatrical times as the religious, usually Mormon, gay guy. Been thinking about it for a while now. Can confirm, am straight, but certainly don't come off that way. My best friend was very sheltered and inexperienced, while I dated boys, spent time with, kissed, no further, from 14 to 17. So she would constantly talk about her crush and ask me what guys might do with a girl. I would get a warm feeling, talking about this with her. When I often slept over, we would share a bed because she had a queen-sized one. That felt good. Eventually she asked me to show her what guys might do, explain / show the terms of sexual bases, etc. No kissing or below the waist stuff, but I realized oh shit when I would get to feel her boobs, or we would compare ours. For me, I would date and do some things with anyone. A kiss is a kiss, and a mouth is a mouth. I'm not fussy and can get off from anyone with the right stimuli. But I feel a much more immediate and intense physical reaction and attraction to women. When we got older and spent even more time together, I guess the Westermark effect kicked in. That's the thing that causes step-siblings dating to be taboo. Raise people together and they generally won't like each other that way. Plus, I was having difficulties with my health and home life and was sort of adopted. I decided I had better not shit where I eat, or out myself to her first-gen immigrant family. 4th grade. wondering why this cute girl in my class gave me the same funny feelings in my tummy as some of the boys. Well, my thought was actually, is this normal? Many times over the next 10 years. Then in college doing the haha let's kiss for attention with another girl, and suddenly everything made sense. I liked boys and girls. I was around 6 years old and got embarrassed that someone might notice I was trying to make every Barbie in my coloring book look like she was wearing a bikini. Thought about that moment a lot growing up. I'm still not sure and it makes me sad. I was about 18 years old, and had just gotten a job delivering pizza. The store owner was an unremarkable guy. The other manager was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, to this day. I was attracted to her from the moment I saw her. Then she did things like make me pizza during long shifts, yell at callers who would request the girl driver and assign those runs to the big ugly biker dude, and do my side work for me if I had a bunch of deliveries. Nothing came of it, since she had a girlfriend and I had a boyfriend, but damn. That was a strong attraction. Since then, I've had crushes on other girls. None of them went anywhere, which is kinda too bad, but it did allow me to marry my husband. He's awesome, and understands that being bi and married means that I might raise an eyebrow at a pretty girl, and that doesn't change my commitment to him. My daughter, 16 years old, always said she was bi-curious. When she saw Jennifer Aniston doing her striptease in the movie We're the Millers. Oh my god, Mom, I think I really am gay. Bisexual here, guess it was when I shagged a bloke. Though I've got more of a leaning towards chicks, more than happy to get with a dude. When my then boyfriend / now husband said something to the effect of, "It's certainly not my place to question your sexuality, but it seems like you're attracted to women too, so can you explain to me how you aren't bisexual?" I was 20 and we'd been dating about a year. My response was some bullshit I'd heard my mom say once about how bisexuals are nymphomaniacs who'll fuck anything with a pulse. Didn't help that the first and only openly bisexual person I knew in high school fit that description, and it wasn't until I said it out loud and saw the confused look on his face that I thought to look into it more, and eventually concluded a couple of days later, yep, definitely bisexual. In hindsight, I was really afraid of being labeled gay in middle school, so avoided looking at or really even thinking about girls in that capacity. I was into boys, which was considered normal, so I just went with that and kept going with it until my husband challenged me on it. I was 15 and at the time there people going around the school saying that I was lesbian, so in my mind I was like, whatever, I'm not lesbian. The next day after I heard the rumors, a new girl joined the class and I started to be really awkward. Then when the girl laughed I low-key blushed to myself because she had such a pretty smile, and then I knew for sure I was lesbian because I've never felt like that about a boy. I had that feeling before, just never noticed it was a lesbian feeling, I just assumed it was anxiety. So I was certain I was lesbian and have been a lot happier dating girls since that day. I saw my now girlfriend dance at a queer club she invited me to with friends. When she started dancing with another girl, I felt jealous. My thought process was literally, oh damn, she's got moves. Well, that was hot. Wait, who the fuck is this bitch? Wait, why do I care? Am I jealous? Wait, am I gay? Holy shit, I might be gay. Crushing and blushing really fucking hard on her for about 10 days before we had our first kiss. Been with her for almost 2 years now. Can confirm, am gay. As 11 yos, me and my same-sex cousin decided to kiss. She pulled away giggling, but I had a whole moment of feeling dizzy and not wanting to stop. That kicked off my sex fantasies for women way before I ever fantasized about sex with men. I'm bi. I think realizing I found girls really interesting as friends but not so much as girlfriends. They were an acquired taste for me. Probably when I was 16 and my best friend and I were like, wonder what it's like to kiss a girl, har har. We went further than kissing. My mother is extremely conservative and I agonized over the possibility of being gay. I'm bisexual and married to a guy. But I've dated my share of women, and I've never been out because of my mom. I think my dad always expected me to be gay and he's cool. I knew I was bi pretty early on, but it was and still is hard to feel safe to explore that the older I get. Plus, as an adult, I haven't come across anyone I felt like I wanted to experiment with yet. Luckily, I have a partner of the opposite sex who is bi as well, and we can talk about anything/anyone that excites us, and it's pretty magical to not have to feel like I have to hide that side of myself from my partner. Not really my moment, but rather my mom's moment for me was when I was little and she had given me instructions to take a shower. As a kid, I always used my parents' master bathroom. Instead of taking a shower, I got naked and went into my mom's closet. I grabbed a bunch of pantyhose and my mom's knee-high boots, which were like thigh-high on me. I put on pair after pair of stocking and would strut down the aisle of the closet with those boots on. Well, after a while of my mother not hearing the shower going, she comes in to check on me. She doesn't find me until she checks the closet. She opens the door to see her 6-year-old stark naked except for her hose and boots on. She asks Evan 105, "What are you doing?" So I stick my leg out and, bending at the hips, reach my hand from ankle back up to thigh and say I just couldn't get the color right. Years later, she tells me that that night she had a serious conversation with my father that I might be gay. I almost think she was disappointed when I grew up to be straight. In my first year of college, I thought some guys were really attractive. I'm non-binary, but didn't know that at the time, and thought I was bi. Chris Wood from Supergirl was probably the awakening. I dismissed the thought after realizing I also had some self-esteem and body image issues. Plot twist, turns out I'm asexual and felt the same way about men as I did about women, basically no sexual attraction, and 0 equals 0. Also, turns out the body image issues might have been some sort of gender dysphoria issue, since I'm fairly thin for a male body and was trying to force myself to compare myself to other guys. When I was having a sleepover with my friend and then he put his arm around me when we were going to bed. He fell asleep and I stayed up the entire time cause I was panicking. I loved women so much I became one. Not your typical gay coming out, but gay is gay. Just look at your male crush. Well, I found that femboys exist and the rest is history. I was checking out this really attractive person, and then I realized I couldn't tell if they were male or female, and then I realized I didn't care. I always thought I might be bisexual, but that's the moment I realized I was pansexual. Someone sent me the link to gay porn as a prank and I didn't realize that it was supposed to be a prank. After hooking up with a guy because I was horny and desperate. Turns out I was horny, desperate, and also bi. Thank you for watching the video. Welcome to Reddit Wisdom. Here you will learn the wisdom of the crowd, the wisdom of Reddit. Please consider subscribing for more Reddit wisdom.